I'm Andrew Rush. I'm the president and CEO of Made in Space. And Made in Space is a company focused on developing in-space manufacturing technologies to enable people to sustainably live and work in space. And this comes in a couple of different forms. It comes in the form of manufacturing things in space for use in space to, maintain spacecraft, make spacecraft more efficient and the like. But it also comes in the form of making things in space so that we can bring them back to Earth. Because if we process certain materials in space, they have really incredible properties that people can benefit from back on the ground. Right now, we have a couple of 3D printers on the International Space Station, and we actually we provide the service of making a wide variety of tools and fixes and upgrades for scientific experiments aboard the International Space Station, to repair things, to enable astronauts to work more efficiently, and also to do technology demonstrations of medical devices that you might be able to manufacture using 3D printing. The other kind of area that we do is we actually manufacture a special kind of optical fiber called Z-bland that when you actually process in the zero gravity environment of space, it performs much better. It's much more pure, consistent crystal, which lets us send a lot more bandwidth down a single optical fiber compared to your traditional silica optical fiber.
So you're making some things in space because it's better to make things, it's better to manufacture some things in outer space. Why is that?
Exactly. So it turns out that if we take gravity out of the manufacturing equation, we can make some things better. Just like we use a really hot furnace to manufacture steel. If we manufacture material like Z-bland in space, the crystals actually form a lot more efficiently and effectively. So then we have a much better product. We're really at the early stages, the crawling stages of this kind of new manufacturing in space economy. And we at Made in Space really believe that as this really booms, it will have an impact on the Earth, just like sort of e-commerce has had. That we're fundamentally changing the way we're using our environment, and this will provide just myriad new products and services for people on the ground. Because really, that's the focus: is enriching people's lives and providing better products and ultimately lower cost services to folks on the ground compared to what we have now. So people can benefit not only in first world developed countries, but even folks in developing countries with better access to the internet and the like. We work closely with the crew on the International Space Station to operate both the 3D printers we have, as well as to install and take out and pack up the optical fiber manufacturing equipment we have. So the printers work just like printers that you have at home. We command it to manufacture something, and then when it's done, it doesn't quite go ding, but an astronaut floats by and we'll take the part out and then go and use it. On the optical fiber side, that's actually a completely robotic system so that we can scale that up as we go. And really all we need from the crew is for them to plug power and data into it, and then we operate it, and then they unplug it and put it back in the capsule that returns home. In the future, we envision a wide variety of research and material processing equipment being in space. Some of it being operated by human crew, and other experiments and other hardware being just completely robotic. So today we're manufacturing within the ISS, within this sort of pressurized environment that the crew lives in, and we use material that we brought up from Earth, and we do manufacturing, and then we bring it back as appropriate, or we use it there as appropriate. In the future, whether that's 5 years from now or 30 years from now, when folks are mining asteroids and providing raw material in space, we absolutely will be able to use that material to manufacture things both in space for use there, as well as in space for ultimate use back on Earth. Which I think is really exciting. I think that we could be using, the grand resources of space to benefit people back on Earth. And this doesn't have to happen just in that kind of pressurized environment of a space station. We can actually do manufacturing in the pure vacuum of space. We have another program where we're making much larger structures than you can traditionally sort of fold up and deploy for satellites. And that's actually just doing straight manufacturing in the vacuum of space. It's a very hard process, but it really enables us to make some really amazing capabilities. One of the really cool things about the space industry is most of us in the industry have grown up reading science fiction, and for the longest time, science science fiction has way overshot with imagination what we can actually do. So, I've grown up reading about doing manufacturing in space and having like replicators and things like that, and so have a lot of other people. And what this translates into is that there are other companies that are pushing in this area as well. Both companies in the United States as well as companies in Europe and on other continents. We're fortunate to be the first company and the only company right now to be commercially manufacturing in space, but it's not going to be just us in the future. When in 10, 15 years, we hope that there will be an entire industries that are centered around doing manufacturing and processing and research in low Earth orbit and beyond. Both my parents are chemical engineers, so I grew up on this steady diet of like science fiction and chemistry and physics books. I actually got an undergraduate degree in physics, and then actually became a patent lawyer and worked with a lot of different space companies before I came to be the CEO of Made in Space. And really, for folks that want to get into this industry that have that share this kind of passion for space, really, like, my advice is really just try in every single way you can, get involved, like reach out to people, email folks that inspire you or that work at interesting companies, go to conferences and visit them, or call them on the phone. I mean, that's what I did. That's how I got my first job, was just literally saying, I have these skills, I'm really enthusiastic, what can I help you with?